Good afternoon, magandang hapon, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. We're going to do something a little bit unusual today because the intro of today's episode is kind of at the end of the day. And we're actually here at Liam's, one of our favorite Lomi shops.
Thank you. Enjoy po.
We didn't plan it like that. It actually happened. It actually just happened like that. Today's an interesting episode. Like I said, we are at the end of the day. We've gone through today. It's like if you went to one of those movies and they show like the ending portion of the movie and then they go right to the beginning right after the ending. Well, that's kind of like what we're doing here today. We'll explain a little bit more when we get into the beginning of today's episode. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Well, we have the food on the table. We're going to try to get through this intro really quick so our food doesn't get cold. So, we went out today and did an episode. We weren't planning on doing an episode. Today was supposed to be a coordination. It was a coordination effort. We have a little bit of the funds left over from the GoFundMe from you, and we were going to work with the city, the town of San Nicolas, which you've been with us before on a previous episode. When we went to Taal Volcano, before Taal Volcano exploded, before it erupted. So they are in desperate need of assistance when it comes to building, reconstruction. Only certain parts around the volcano had some really bad damage, really bad. And we got to visit that today. Now,
be able to see the devastation there.
We weren't expecting to do a video today. Today was supposed to be just a coordination. We contacted the mayor of San Nicolas, and he invited us there to talk with him about how we could help their community. Well, lo and behold, after we got there, we had an opportunity to walk around some of the community and see some of the damage to some of the houses, which we're going to share with you today. Now, luckily, I brought the camera today. I wasn't planning. It was only a coordination day, but Ness always tells me you should always keep the camera in the back of the truck. So that's what we did. It was a good tip for today, because not only were we able to capture some information that'll be very valuable to you to be able to see where some of your donation funds are going to, but we decided to take a chance today and see if we could get into the area, basically no man's land, where you can really see what the volcano did to some of the areas, and that was in Angoncillo.
But they were able to get back to their houses.
So they're back. So they're getting back to their houses, but it's still a big mess. But it's also the closest point to Taal Volcano, to the crater. And I've been trying to get the drone to go to the crater, a good drone shot. And I don't know. I haven't reviewed the video. We're not home yet. We don't know what we have on today's collection of video clips. But hopefully we have some astounding videos to share with you today. So we're going to close here. I talked enough for the intro. Let's look at some of the content for it today. And then what we'll do is we'll close today's video from right here. Now, I don't know if you recognize from a previous episode, but that's the mayor of San Nicolas. We are here today for a special episode of what's going on now to the evacuees most affected by the Taal Volcano eruption. As you can see over my shoulder, we're in San Nicolas. We are at Municipal Hall, and we are coordinating with the mayor to see if some of our relief funds can help with the folks right here in the most affected area near the Taal Volcano. Now, I don't know if you can see over my shoulder, but we are still covered with ash all around here, and there are people, I'll show you over my shoulder here in just a moment, there are people that are waiting in line still getting assistance that are affected by the Taal Volcano eruption. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but this place is still covered with volcanic ash. The municipal hall is still being used as a holding point and a distribution point for a lot of the supplies that are needed for the local community, for the people who are still displaced. Let's head on upstairs to the mayor's office and, oh, it's over this way. Let's head on upstairs to the mayor's office and get a look from the vantage point of the mayor's office overlooking the volcano. Okay, so what we're doing now, we've been invited to take a look at some of the houses and some of the landscape around here that was affected by the volcano when it erupted. So right now, it's obvious we just drove over a spot where the roads kind of separated. It dropped. I want to show you this. If you look right here, the road is at 2 levels. The concrete road here and the concrete road up there. Prior to the eruption of the volcano and all the earthquake activity, it was at the same level, the same grade. Now from this spot where the road dropped down, the reason the road dropped here is because this is on a fault line. And the fault goes right into this property over here, right to the side of the house. And I want you to see the damage that was done to the house right on the fault line area. You can see the volcanic ash still residing here. Here, let me get around. Now this house right here is actually less than 1 year old.
It's a church. It's also damaged.
Now the same fault line that we just passed also runs along this area. We have a separation here of the road, and also it went right through the side of this house as well. We're going to walk into this house. This is all bags full of volcanic ash that's swept up from the yard. And although the outside of the house at this portion doesn't look damaged too bad, the occupant, the homeowner here, wanted to show us all the damage that happened as a result of the earthquakes inside her house.
Went down.
Yung bumaba, oo.
Oo, bumaba po. Tapos dito lang yun.
And there's the fissure, the crack that actually went through this portion of the house, broke through this portion, and oh my goodness, look at this. Oh, that's horrible. It's terrible. Oh my goodness. There's the crack, and it goes through here, here, all the cracks up there. Oh, that's dangerous. Yeah.
Oh, ito.
Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness.
Halos kalahati nga po dahil hanggang dito. Oh.
This is all separated here, lifted and separated inside the house.
Over there.
Ito pala hindi magagawa ng hindi bubulbasin.
Hindi ko nga po alam.
Konta rito?
Ito po. It's like 1 ruler and a half.
Wow.
Go down. We cannot open this door.
No, obviously you can't open that door.
Look at the it's
Oh,
not
and that's where we saw that from the outside. So basically, the crack, everything shifted from this side, just dropped down that whole section, and that goes along. That's also on the outside where the street also dropped too, right? On the same fissure, yeah.
Pero yung mga kwarto naman po, okay.
And the roof dropped down, yeah,
Yung kay Samuel.
yeah. That is incredible.
Meron naman po. Ang kuryente, hindi naman delikado.
And-
Hindi naman po na-apektuhan yung kuryente namin.
And how old is your house? When was it built?
It's like 10 years. 2009.
2009.
Yes.
Ah, only about 10, 11 years.
Kasi kita kami dito eh. Siya naman ito eh. Siya sabi ni Pate na kasi umalis.
Ito na nakita nilang may pumutok. Yun po yung kanilang sasakyan ay gumano na.
Well, we're fortunate enough to have somebody here that actually works for the government, because people are always asking, what is the government doing to help out with the relief action here? What's their engagement and their involvement? So anyway, can you introduce your name and your title of what you're doing, and kind of talk a little bit about what the government is actually doing for the relief of the people, like in this community right here?
Yes. I'm the Municipal Social Welfare and Development Officer, Mrs. Jocelyn Atienza. So regarding the IDPs, the displaced person, families due to Taal volcano eruption. So we have two barangays, the Barangay Pulambato and Alas-As, which is totally devastated, and families, houses are totally natabunan or devastated ng ashes from Taal volcano. And as of now, they are temporarily residing at evacuation center at Talaibon and Malainin. So at this moment, for the rehabilitation program of the government, I am in charge in the assessment, validation, and we visited the damaged houses. So we assessed at least I think 400 families totally and partially damaged. So we are reported to provincial level, national level, the damage. We also performed the requirements. So we submitted we complied the documents. So we are hoping na those people will be granted the assistance needed, and we are also ongoing the what do you call the access card. That access card is the registration of the families residing affected by the Taal volcano eruption. And we are accepting donations. We are also in charge in the giving, the distribution of the for the affected families.
So you're a valuable asset to the mayor in the mayor's office inside there. She showed us all the.
I hope so.
Yeah, she has all the spreadsheets.
And also I'm one of the evacuees.
One of the evacuees.
and one of the evacuees as well.
Almost 3 days. Wala kaming. We also get the clothes from the relief. We don't have any. Also the personal hygiene. We also get to the relief from the relief. So that's life.
Now we have the church. We have the church over here that also sustained some damage as well. Now the damage you see here, this is the exterior, the outside of the church, and it goes through. We're going to go inside and take a look and follow the crack. Hey, we're lucky enough to be able to talk to the priest of the church here, and we'll get his experience and what happened around the volcano time. So talk a little bit about the first moments of when the earth was shaking and the smoke was coming out? What was happening around here?
Well, actually, it started at around 2 in the afternoon. But here in San Nicolas, that time was still very peaceful. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, when a police officer, Catena, called me over the phone and he told me that the volcano is erupting. So I went at once to the municipality. Then we gathered with the mayor and we had meeting with barangay captains how to evacuate people. And so since everything seems to be fine even that time, so when I went here, I summoned all the prayer warriors of this community. So we started praying at around 3 p.m. 3 p.m. We're praying already until 10, close to 10 in the evening. Since the volcano was a little bit nice still on that the moment, and it reacted here on San Nicolas at around 10 o'clock when the earth was already shaking. And I
10 p.m. is when it started.
and the ashes is falling so hard. That's like you can see anything. The time the mayor told me that it's already forced evacuation for all of us. So I asked him to bring a truck. So he brought 2 trucks. Then all the prayer warriors, even the old ones, they climb up the truck to evacuate. Then we will left here. I myself, my sister, and a couple of guys, we're still staying here. We evacuated only when we saw our neighbor, the house of our neighbor, get struck. It started to destroy. Then the fissure went around my car. It went around my car.
Oh my goodness!
And my car. Then I told my driver, go on. It might fall. The ground might catch my car. So he got the car. Then we drove. But I realized, and the bishop called me. Archbishop Garcera called me because he knew that I'm not leaving the place. So he called me that time when everything is already rumbling. He called me, then he summoned me to evacuate, then to bring the Blessed Sacrament. So I went back just to get the Blessed Sacrament. Just that was the first one we had to secure during such kind of calamities, the Blessed Sacrament. So I went here. Then during our travel, we passed Pasible. Then on that side of the ruins, we were traveling so fast. Since my driver and I were used to that road.
Yeah.
Then on that part we never saw it, so we bumped.
Oh my God.
My jeep get dumped, rumbling because the road already went down about a foot. So then we go to our place. I was with me was 17 families. I took them from Taal. I asked the help of the parochial biker of Taal to lend me the car, a big car. So I was able to get some neighborhoods. And Atema and Romel, they have their own car. So we went to Bayanan San Pascual, the safest place. So we were 17 families there, about 57 people in my place. That's why everything I experienced in person. So maybe I'm already nervous right now. Even a little bit of crack, a little bit of noise, I may say, "Oh, what's that?" That was the experience of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And I thank God, I thank San Nicolas de Tolentino. So He spare us. Even the church spare us. The fissure, if you can see, the fissure passed through the side of the church, not on the middle of the church. If it's on the middle of the church might get destroyed.
It would have been destroyed.
But the fissure passed on the side of this church. So, but then the houses that the fissure went by, they were all destroyed.
Yeah.
And then I just thank God for everything. And
Absolutely.
everything was an experience. For us, it's an experience of darkness, and yet with the help of the people, with the love of the people, especially the love people of Balayan, who first come to rescue us, to help us, everything seems to going back to normal. And as I said earlier to you, the church has been clean. We've been cleaning this. It's almost 80%, and it's good to go. I'm just waiting for the go signal of the LGU, the structural engineer, for us to be able to put back this into its proper activities.
Well, after the initial eruption, when you were talking about at 10 o'clock at night, when the
Yes.
earth was shaking and all of it, when were you allowed to finally come back? Everybody come back from evacuation?
We were allowed after the volcano was the level
One from 4 to 3.
4 to 3.
That was quite a while. It took
That's
them quite a while for them to
Yeah.
change that. Yeah.
We were in our place, staying in our place, receiving donations, and good thing, most of the people who went to our place, we were able to, they able to help me repacking things. Then my car used to go to many places, especially those who are not in the evacuation, so we were able to give them something, especially our kabayan here in San Nicolas.
But you know what? And at the Philippines, here in the Philippines, everybody was particularly lucky that there were so many people that were so generous.
Yes.
To help out. I've never seen people with the kindness of the heart contribute and donate like I've seen during what just happened over the last 30 days.
Yes.
It was incredible, the compassion that people have inside.
We were talking when the volcano erupted. The goodness of people also erupted here.
It did.
It is.
That's an
Indeed.
excellent way to phrase it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The goodness of people, the kindness of the people, the love of the people also erupted. We were being flooded by love, comfort of those so many people who are loving Batangas.
Hopefully, with all the contributions from the government,
Yes, the government.
from private donations, everybody can reconstruct and they can move on.
It's good to know that the
Yeah.
government here, especially the local government of San Nicolas, they
Yeah.
were so very, very generous to do their effort for their people.
Yeah.
They're no longer sleeping. I myself knew it
Yeah.
because I was with them.
It's one good thing I say about the Philippines. We always talk about Philippines they take care of their own.
Yes.
Very good. All right. Well,
Thank you very much.
thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you. Salamat po.
We're going. Now we brought the drone with us. We brought the drone with us because while we were down here, we were just hoping that they opened up. There was no lockdown in Angosillo. That is the closest point that we can try to fly over the crater of the volcano. We're going to try to do that today. We can't do it from here, it's too far. This is 9 kilometers away, but the closest point anywhere around that is not on the volcano itself, Volcano Island, is a spot in Angosillo, which is about between 5 and 5.4 kilometers away from the center. Let's go ahead and see if we can get that location and try to launch. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.